The sun was dropping low over the wide desert of Arizona Territory. Long shadows stretched across the dry ground, and the wind carried dust through the empty land. Jack Turner rode slowly on his brown horse, Rusty. Jack was a quiet cowboy in his late 30s. His hat was old and faded, and his boots had seen many miles. He had spent most of his life riding across open land, working cattle, and sleeping under the stars. That evening, Jack was heading back toward a small ranch where he planned to stay the night. The desert was calm and quiet. Only the sound of Rusty's hooves breaking the dry ground could be heard. Suddenly, Rusty stopped walking. Jack frowned and gently tapped the horse's neck. "Come on, boy," Jack said softly, but Rusty didn't move. Instead, the horse lifted his ears and looked toward a group of small rocks not far away. Jack followed the horse's gaze. At first, he saw nothing. Then he heard something very faint, a small cry. Jack quickly stepped down from his horse and walked toward the rocks. The cry came again, weak and shaky. Behind the rocks, he saw a little boy sitting in the sand. The boy looked about 6 years old. His clothes were dusty, his face was sunburned, and his lips were dry. His small hands were shaking. Jack's eyes widened in surprise. "Well now," Jack said gently, kneeling beside him. "What in the world are you doing out here, kid?" The boy looked up with tired eyes. I can't find my mama," the boy whispered. Jack felt a heavy feeling in his chest. No child should be alone in a place like this. "Easy now," Jack said kindly. "You're safe." "What's your name?" "Tommy," the boy replied. Jack took his water canteen and handed it to him. "Take small sips," Jack said. Tommy drank slowly. After a moment, some color returned to his face. Jack looked around the empty desert. No wagon tracks, no horses, no campfire smoke, nothing. "How long you been out here, Tommy?" Jack asked. The boy sniffed and rubbed his eyes. "I was in the wagon with my mama and papa," Tommy said. "We stopped near the road. I went to look at a rabbit, and when I came back, they were gone." Jack nodded slowly. In the desert, a wagon could travel far before realizing someone was missing. "Well," Jack said calmly, "then we better find them." He lifted the boy carefully onto Rusty's saddle and climbed up behind him. The sky was turning orange as the sun began to disappear behind the distant hills. "Hold on to the saddle horn," Jack told him. Rusty began walking again, steady and calm. As they rode, Jack studied the ground. Cowboys learn to read the earth like a book. After about 20 minutes, he saw what he was hoping for. Wagon tracks. Fresh ones. Jack smiled slightly. "Looks like we got ourselves a trail." Tommy looked back at him. "You can find them." "I sure aim to try," Jack said. They followed the tracks as the sky slowly turned darker. The desert became cool as night came in. Stars started appearing one by one across the wide sky. Tommy leaned back slightly. "Mister, are you a cowboy?" Jack chuckled softly. "Been one most my life." "Are cowboys brave?" Tommy asked. Jack thought about the question. "Sometimes," he said. "But mostly we just try to do what's right." They rode for another hour. Then Jack spotted something far ahead, a lantern moving in the darkness. He narrowed his eyes. Someone was riding toward them. As the figure came closer, Jack could hear a woman calling into the night, "Tommy, Tommy." The little boy suddenly sat up straight. "That's my mama." Jack raised his hand and waved. "Over here." The horse rider hurried forward. A worried woman jumped down before the horse even stopped moving. "Tommy, She ran and hugged the boy tightly, tears falling down her face. "Oh, thank the Lord. We've been searching everywhere." A man rode up behind her in a wagon, his face full of worry. When he saw the boy safe, his shoulders relaxed with relief. "Son," the man said softly, lifting Tommy into his arms. The woman turned to Jack. "I don't know how to thank you," she said. "We thought we lost him forever." Jack tipped his hat politely. "Just happened to pass by," he said. The father reached into his pocket. "Please, let me pay you something." Jack shook his head. "No need, but you saved our boy," the man insisted. Jack looked at Tommy, who was now smiling again. "That's enough payment for me." The wind moved gently across the desert as everyone stood quietly for a moment. Finally, the father said, "We're heading to Willow Creek. You're welcome to ride with us and share supper." Jack thought for a moment. Then he smiled. "Well, I suppose Rusty wouldn't mind a warm barn tonight." They all laughed softly. The wagon began moving again across the moonlit desert, with Jack riding beside them. Tommy kept looking back at the cowboy with admiration. "Mr. Jack." "Yes, son. When I grow up, I want to be a cowboy like you." Jack smiled under his old hat. "Well, if you do," he said, "just remember one thing." "What's that?" "A good cowboy always looks out for folks who need help." Tommy nodded seriously. The desert night was peaceful now. The stars shined bright above them, and the quiet land stretched far in every direction. And somewhere out there in the wide American West, another simple cowboy story had quietly been written.